4,600 years ago, a massive network of cities stretched across what is now Pakistan and northwestern India. It was a sprawling, highly engineered society built entirely from millions of baked mud bricks. Yet, until a little over a century ago, we had absolutely no idea they existed. For millennia, this massive civilization was a complete blank spot in human history. That changed entirely when archaeological digs unearthed Harappa in 1921, followed quickly by Mohenjo-Daro in 1922. The sheer scale of the brick structures stretching into the distance shocked the world. But investigators immediately ran into a wall. Unlike ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia, these ruins contained no giant monuments to tyrannical kings, and we cannot decipher a single word they wrote. Without a translated script, our understanding of this world depends entirely on the material record preserved in the soil. This animation illustrates a striking contrast in urban design. Instead of the chaotic, winding streets typical of early human settlements, Mohenjo-Daro was built on a strict, mathematical, right-angled grid. This obsession with order extended down to the micro level. Across hundreds of miles, builders used baked mud bricks that followed a precise, universal, standardized ratio. Then there is the plumbing. Thousands of years before the Romans, Indus Valley households enjoyed indoor wells and sophisticated drainage systems. Waste from domestic homes flowed through terracotta pipes inserted directly into walls, feeding into a covered municipal sewer network beneath the streets. This communal focus on water culminates in the Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro. Researchers suspect this massive, precisely sealed rectangular basin was used for community or religious purification rituals rather than royal indulgence. Building street-level drainage for thousands of homes suggests a centralized effort focused on daily function rather than the construction of massive palaces or royal tombs. Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa weren't isolated anomalies. This exact infrastructure appears in other major provincial hubs like Dholavira and Rakhigarhi. To feed these booming populations, the Indus people built a massive agricultural engine. They cultivated large-scale crops of wheat and barley, and they were among the first in the world to spin and weave cotton. Their ambitions also stretched out to sea. The coastal city of Lothal features a massive engineered rectangular water reservoir built specifically to function as an international maritime dockyard. This map traces their ambition. Distinctive Indus Valley trade seals have been unearthed thousands of miles away, sitting right in the heart of Mesopotamian ruins. Keeping this international trade fair required intense systemic control. Merchants across the entire civilization used perfectly standardized stone weights, these precise cubes and spheres, ensuring accurate measurements from the coast to the northern plains. Standardized weights and shared architecture linked cities across nearly 1 million square kilometers. Regional cohesion achieved without any trace of a central military or conquest. Without giant statues of conquering heroes, we have to look closely at their intimate, everyday items to understand their spiritual lives. Take the famous Pashupati seal. It features a central figure wearing a horned headdress, seated in a meditative posture, and surrounded by animals like elephants, tigers, and rhinos, imagery that strongly echoes later Indian spiritual traditions. We also find an abundance of terracotta figurines like this one. Her elaborate fan-shaped headdress points to a widespread societal reverence for matriarchal figures or fertility deities. These localized religious icons created a cohesive cultural identity. They shared a unified belief system without the heavy hand of a god-king demanding their worship. But the prosperity didn't last forever. Around 1900 BCE, the physical evidence of this booming urban civilization abruptly degrades, and then it just stops. For decades, historians assumed they were wiped out by foreign invaders, but modern archaeology has proven that wrong. There is zero evidence of a massive apocalyptic war or mass slaughter in the city streets. Instead, the modern scientific consensus points to a cascading systemic collapse, triggered by a shifting climate and failing monsoon patterns. Tectonic shifts in the region forced the vital lifeblood rivers into new courses, leaving the heavily engineered docks and drainage systems dry. The fall of the Indus Valley proves a sobering reality. Even the most highly organized, perfectly engineered, and peaceful society remains entirely at the mercy of its environment. When the rivers moved, the civilization had to move with them. Despite the sophistication of their cities, their internal thoughts remain hidden behind their still untranslated script. We have never found a bilingual Rosetta Stone to help us translate their language. Because of that silence, their actual names, their poetry, their laws, and their daily thoughts remain locked away in the shadows. The Indus Valley remains a society defined by its physical complexity and its complete historical silence. But history abhors a vacuum. As these incredible brick cities crumbled, new populations were moving into the region, bringing with them horses, chariots, and a radically different culture that would forge the Vedic Age.